in the Cayman Islands.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Monday edition of Talk Today. Get a chance to tell you what, how do you say, Jimmy? Carnival?
Yes, man. It's all about carnival.
Oh, very well. Listen, he might even perform. If I can get Susan to bring in 2 pans, we can see where we're going.
Anytime you're ready, man, I'll be ready for it.
Right. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, blessings to all and welcome. Let's make this week very, very productive. You know, I imagine if I was young and handsome, I'd probably look like either one of these 2 young fellas in the studio. Maybe not as muscular and tattooed, but hey, why not? Nicholas Washington, Jim LaPierre, and of course, you know, their chaperone. They did make some ensure that they remain gentlemen. It's Natari leaving. Good afternoon to each of you. Thanks so much for coming on board.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, man. Sometimes I look at it and I say, boy, you know, if I lived in another part of the world, I wouldn't be as blessed. But we'll see how it goes, right?
Very true.
All right. As we set the stage and talk about it for the next, 45 or so, we can get things in the stage. Jimmy, should we say the most handsome first, or should we go to you?
Hey, he set me up.
It happens.
Your daughter's like, yeah, you need to see him though.
All right. He's in Canada right now, so he's doing his thing, you know.
What's your mom worried about?
Oh, I should listen. I'm sure she's listening right now. She loves Radio Cayman.
Yeah, I wonder why. I could about run from him. Huh? I don't know. She might find factors. Listen, man, thanks for letting me laugh and, be a part of it.
No problem.
Hopefully at the end of the day to do it. But we look at the world in particular, right? And not to put us off track, but I was just watching some children the other day, and they put on the movie with the birds in Rio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then the guy come out in Carnival, and you see the costumes, and you see all these things, right? And I thought, wow, Brazil and Carnival, football.
Celebration.
Yes. All right, well, Jim, as we formally, recognize you as probably, your dad would say probably the pan extraordinaire.
He is. He's a pioneer.
Okay. So with a question now, as chairman of the Cayman's Mass Band Association, in your capacity here, Jimmy, set the stage first. What are we talking about? What are we looking at, man?
We're looking at carnival. I mean, when you hear carnival, you hear happy things. You hear good things. You see good things. You feel good things. So it's carnival. We want to talk about bringing back carnival back to what carnival was always meant and what it always was. So for me, it's we need to get this thing back as a family, one unit. So we're here today to talk about carnival and how we can make carnival carnival again.
All right. What does carnival mean to you? Because you have an interesting perspective. I mean, I know I look young and handsome, and probably a little bit older. But you grew up with, seriously, I mean, a beat constantly in and around you.
Yes.
You moved a different drum, literally. Yeah, incredible intellect, but a gifting as well.
Thank you.
So, carnival to you, back to where, what does that mean to you?
Well, like I started off, when people ask me the same question, my family is was born into this. My dad is from Trinidad. He left Trinidad at a young age to go to Toronto to grow up, and brought Pan to Canada as well. And then ended up bringing it to Cayman. So when you look at all of that, it's history. He came here with the trade winds back in '86 too. They all came here for Pirates Weekend. They never left. They're still here, retired and whatnot. So it's it's history. So it's when you're born in a family like that and you get to understand the lifestyle of where the culture comes from, and you be born in Cayman too, you understand growing up in a Cayman culture, you understand that side too. You find ways to try to fuse that. And for me, as the older I got, the more I was doing entertainment lines of performing around the world. I was playing steel pan as the main art form that was taken as an ambassador. I found myself graduating, getting into more of the culture of, carnival and all the different branches from it, from education to entertainment to fashion to this to that, So for me, the older, like I said, it got more for me where I started to take it more serious, And not only I was an artist and a musician first, but I started to get in more to fashion and designing, and then started to look at more entertainment and events. And my brother in Toronto, he's a guru of that. He's one of the main guys who runs the Canada network when it comes to events and soca parties and whatnot. And he's one of the main stepping stones that helped me get to where I am too. That quickly in lines of getting and re-educating the right way of coming to an event, no matter if it's education in school, no matter if it's an event outside that we do, with Magic Carnival, everything that we do, we try to redirect something new and try to show you how this thing is really, really done and how it really, really feels. And when you come to these things and when you experience these things, you're feeling good when you leave. You're learning something and you're embracing what is tradition now. It's over 20 years, over 30 years now that this thing is in Cayman. We have kids that's growing into this now and looking forward to this. So it's a tradition now, and we're just a part of now that era where we can continue the education of that tradition. It evolves. We just have to find ways to continue to evolve it. And for me, this always been embedded into my family and into my life. So I just took it very serious and started to let the passion took over, let that dictate what's going to be next. I believed in what I wanted to see. I wanted change. I wanted this. I wanted to improve this. I wanted to do that. It's funny, even at the Fresh Carnival, I'll tell you a funny story with that. We were in the car one day with my brothers, and we were just talking about just doing everything fresh and coming with a fresh approach and blah, blah, fresh events, fresh music, fresh that. So I say, let's call this thing Fresh Carnival, and we have all this thing labeled out. We just take it like a circus and carry this different type of shows where we present a 5-day blah, blah, blah. And this is what became of it. So after that is what became Fresh Carnival. I started the own band here, XYZ, and evolve. So ideas like that fall into your backyard because of your culture that you were blessed with. I didn't got asked if I wanted to be a part of a Trinidad culture or Cayman culture. I was blessed with that, so I embrace all of that, and I try my best to let people know this is where I come from and this is what it's going to be. And it's not stopping what I'm going to do. It's not going to stop what we're going to do and what we're trying to change. We're just trying to improve this thing one step at a time, and we are. And as you see Nicholas here too, he's on the same page. He's one of the closest one that I have here too, that we can kind of relate, on things and what we want to do. And we're just being blessed in the era that we're in right now.
Indeed. Nicholas?
Well, for me personally, that happened a lot later in life. As Jimmy says, a lot of his stuff was from when he was younger and he was exposed to it from then. I personally, but mine was only about 5-6 years ago when I linked up with people from Tribal. But it just seemed that no matter what direction I went, it was just always about Tribal and the carnival and everything. Dexter from overseas, he and I hit it off instantly. It was just a case of him looking at each other one time, and it was during distribution, which is when you give out the costumes and stuff, and we were able to communicate with each other without even saying words. And that was it. That was the start of it. Since then, meeting with Jimmy and everything, I have grown to love it to a point where it's hard to say no towards it. You know what I mean? Even when you sit down here, you even question yourself sometimes, am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? Somebody from off the street will come to you and say, so when are you going to do this and when you're going to do that? And then you're thinking to yourself, well, I guess I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? You can't run from it no matter what happens. Yeah, you know what I mean? So you love it and enjoy it. And it's not even the case where you love it from a superficial point of view. It becomes life. You sit down and the mask, the people, the revelers, you love them. You love to see them have a great time. You want them to have a great time. If they're not having a good time, you're not having a good time.
And Tari? What would you?
I agree with what everybody...
How can you disagree?
Yeah, you can't disagree. It does become life eventually. For me, Carnival came into my life about, I want to say, 8 years ago. And it was one of the best things that I've experienced in my lifetime. And I hope and continue that I go along with this, because it's a great experience traveling to different countries to see carnival everywhere, just like how you spoke about Brazil, to Trinidad. I've been to Trinidad once. I'm trying to get there again, but I've experienced it and I really enjoy it, and I hope to.
Now, when you say it's the best thing, why is it? Why do you say how is it?
I think the best thing for me is that it's about being free for carnival. There's no judging. It's all about love. It's all unity. There's no violence. It's the best time of life for me.
All right. So with that now, because as we speak of it, and obviously we're just speaking from your individual perspectives, and I guess what they say, the powerhouses behind the mask, and that's another discussion for another time. You just wanted, if I'm hearing you want to see one family, one unity, right, Jim, is what you're saying. You bring it together so that you can move and revel it together.
Right.
But sometimes people go their separate ways and they live more prosperous. Two brothers conquering the world from different ends, meet in the middle at that point.
True. True.
Can we have more than one and still be a powerhouse, or this is only space for the one king at the top or one queen?
Well, that would be an interesting topic. I'm sure everybody has different views of that. There are a lot of different factors determining that. Demographic, other events held out throughout the year. But like you said, though, you said two brothers going separate directions but coming back in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. That's the goal at the end of the day.
All right. So, and I respect that. Probably can't speak for that, so let's ask you the dynamic. Is it then that it's not possible for the group here to part of it, this group, and then next week, next month, tomorrow, go part of it the next group? You either a fan of Man U or you're not. All right. You can't cheer for Man U and Barcelona at the same time. Is that what it is? You either got to be in one camp, you can't be in both?
I personally wouldn't say that, because, if we go with the analogy you're using, you love football.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I think we all here love mass.
Okay.
No matter what.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
If the other camp says, guys, I'm throwing a party here, please come through,
you come in.
I have no objections to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like what he said. That's how it's supposed to be. When we talk in family, we try to preach that and encourage that. So what you see, what he's talking about when you talk about we love mass, it shouldn't be where I can't go and support the same thing that you're doing in the same type of industry that we're in. We're trying to grow this thing together. We want people to invest. We want people to sponsor. We want people to endorse. We want to be able to endorse and sponsor and donate from what we can do to create, build communities, build that. So as this, you can't, not because you're Man U that Chelsea can't go over there to Man U and go.
Chelsea.
It should be where,
Hurry.
Man U field.
Yeah, man. But it's different with this thing called Carnival and Mass, man.
So both could then coexist.
Yes, definitely. We can coexist.
So like football, my children say use football like knowledge all the time, but hey, football and chocolate, I know those things.
All right, fair
so
enough.
once you like it, it's just a matter about chasing the game, watching. Okay, so that can happen. All right, when we come back from the break, please educate me, inform me, and let me, hopefully, you'll include me, let me be a part of the laughter and the learning.
No problem.
Forgive me if I ask this. You don't know that? Probably don't.
No,
so I'm
ask
here.
anything.
Sure.
All right, I can. What number playing tomorrow? She say we're legalizing ganja, but none numbers yet. Priorities. Police probably outside my door in a minute. Knock. Are you one of those sellers? All right. Listen, got your attention? But when you come back, I can learn some more. Gents here and the wonderful lady going to give me a lesson. So please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
Not all insurance is created equal, but who has the time to shop around? Take the guesswork out of your insurance coverage with Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Let us match you with the best coverage to suit your needs at a price to suit your wallet. Plus, get superior customer service from dedicated claims professionals to ensure speedy claims processing. Get your insurance through Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Is this thing working? Give me some sound over here.
Every Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show for your radio, featuring Will Sinatra.
Now, sound is everything.
Enjoy a mix of pop, hip-hop, reggae, and calypso, and an entertainment trivia section. The Super Jam Show is fueled by the proud sponsorship of the Cayman Islands Football Association. CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today, and thanks for joining us. Hey, listen, if the show doesn't get any better, at least I can say we had this time together.
True.
That was, Jimmy's line when he was performing on Broadway. Right, Jimmy?
You're right.
Nicholas Washington, Jimmy LaPierre, and Atara Lever joins us. And I think whether it's football or whether it's the culinary arts or whether it's, as Atara says, it's mass, something gets into you. And there's always something that motivates people. It just gets into them. Well, we know people who love fishing, for instance.
It's true.
And they just... It's not about catching, because they release something they catch. It's about how can they catch a different fish or the same fish a different way. Right. There's always something, right? Sometimes it's just the fish that's catching, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know that, right?
True.
Oh, I say, man.
That's true.
With great respect. You talked about, maybe last 20 to 30 years or so, 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, grew up in a bit of life. Is there a cultural or generational, specifically generational divide in our society when we look at some of us who are on this side saying, I might be the last 10 years or last 5 years, but wow, I'm glad I discovered this thing. I've got new friends, I'm traveling, I get a chance to, live vicariously through others, and I get to do things without the judgment, condemnation, because I'm in like minds. Then there are others who say, well, not so sure about that. I'll tell you a story about a Brazilian fellow once, if you let me later on. But
no problem.
I'll keep it PG, because he was a gentleman. But is it a generational thing? We want to start?
I think the divide is more about what's available to us now, not necessarily the direction or the goal. Because if you look at it, Bada Banu has been going on since 1983. We're in the year 2018. I feel the goals were still the same. Times have changed, but the goal hasn't changed. So the tools that are available to us now, as us being in it, we have social media. We have the technology to do certain things.
So, what were the goals then? Is the goals then still the same?
I think it's still about the people, what the people want, to provide that stage for people to express themselves in the way they express themselves, whether it be in costume, or whether they want to do up their makeup, or whether they want to have the colors and the feathers, whatever it is, it's still the same. It may be a little bit more elaborate now, but I think all that is the same goal at the end of the day.
So the origins was the Rotary fundraiser back, I thought it was 85, but you say 83.
Yeah.
So back in the the 80s sometimes, Rotary had a fundraiser. So this is the origins of what we have now?
Correct.
All right. And now, for those of us who are on the sidelines, or those of us who are in the, I call it marching, but that's probably not right. So in the jumping in the revelry, the word you guys used earlier, we see some in very elaborate, incredible talent, when it comes to the costumes and the like and all this stuff.
It's extreme talent. It's something that is not even just a hobby for a lot of people. It's their life.
This is a business, right? For some.
Look at Jimmy. This has been his family forever. Like, probably your grandfather was telling your dad his stories, and now you're telling your dad his stories, and your son is going to tell your stories.
Probably giving them licks.
Exactly. I mean, I even said it to my son's mother at one time. I was like, well, they're getting older now, and I'm going to be here helping out with the costumes and stuff. You don't have no problem with that. And she's like, no, they're with their father.
Yeah,
they're it's part of what they're. I don't want them to not understand everything about their culture.
All right. Now with that, the costumes. I agree with you. I've seen only because I saw, with respect, Ms. Reba from costumes for other things, but just watching the layout, students that she would teach, and sometimes just sort of include them. This last go around, I saw a lot of people with, I don't want to make it sound less than T-shirts. I mean, people on the sides jumping in and enjoying it as well, and getting, swept up with it, getting part of it, right?
Right.
So is it that the costumes and the T-shirts all one and the same, or is it just part of the revelry?
Well,
sorry.
I would say it's definite. Personally, this is my personal opinion.
Yes,
it's definitely more about the costume. But imagine going to a concert, whoever your favorite artist is, and they're up on stage doing their thing, and you're not. You don't jump up and down. Are you really feeling that artist? You're not. When they're on the road and you have 10, 12 bands, costumes, enjoying themselves, not even just the actual day of the parade, the parties and the fetes leading up to it, beforehand, it's an energy. It grabs you. They can't help themselves.
Yeah. So, to understand it, T-shirts are cool, but costumes, where is that?
Costumes is that.
Costumes
Definitely.
are better.
Costumes are where it's at.
Yeah, I can say it because Jimmy's sister, who's my best friend, we both have a section, and it's Lady Elements Mass, and she's the designer of the costume. So I know the effort and the time and everything that goes into making these costumes. And our costume, I must say, pat on the back. She did a great job this year. But costumes is where it's at. If you come to experience Carnival, get a costume.
I tell you, I've seen, only because I've had a chance to, the amount of work that goes in, the late nights, the early mornings, the all day long, the different hands, the running around, Jimmy, trying to find stuff.
It's serious. It's serious. It's like it's a full-time thing. This is our life, that Nick said, this ain't no... It's not about a joke, this ain't no joke for us. We take it very serious, and yes, we're going to enjoy it, we're going to show you that we're enjoying this, and we're going to make sure that you see us having the most fun that you ever seen. So when you keep asking us if we enjoying this, you're going to see that we enjoy this.
There's no question, you're enjoying it.
No, I mean, we get that a lot, people come and be like, you have so much fun and stuff, like, how do you expect me to be?
Because I'm notorious for not wearing my shirt. Last couple of years, I ain't wearing no shirt on the road.
We're going in.
You're free, man.
Yeah, but I mean, with a muscular stature,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You see me in Joel with a shirt on?
Yes. We have a guy out there that,
no judging.
even with his soft middle, he's still doing splits in the road.
My work smart fitness will sort us out, man.
Yeah, we have a crew. That can whip you into shape, right?
No, with that, right? When we're looking at the fun and and I mean, there's always economics behind sometimes, whether it's a cost part of it because you put down something to bring people together. Hey, have the birthday party. It isn't because you're looking for something. You want people to come together. You're going to foot the bill for the cake, the ice cream, whatever it is that you're doing, right?
Right.
Depending on the age of the person, it might be more than just cake and ice cream, right, Jimmy?
True. Very true.
Yep.
Now, with that, there's money to prepare the event. There's money to, design the costumes. Hopefully there's money coming in. How is the economics played out for the local economy, the draw from whatever international crowd and tourism perspective?
Tourism wise, it's a definite benefit. Around that time, I know the amount of people that you have to be back and forth with going to the airport, picking those up. The hotels are booked. The hotels are full around that time. Not even just the hotels. the restaurants because of the more people here on the island. So every restaurant, every venue is loaded. The day of the parade, if you look at every single restaurant going along West Bay Road, they have to up their game to sustain the crowd on that day. They have tents on the side of the road, the mobile bars, everything set up there so that they can make sure to capitalize off of that one day.
Now, this year compared to last year, compared to the year before, every year you think it's been better in terms of the numbers? This year, for instance, I mean, larger numbers than last year. This year is probably a little bit unusual. Tourism statistics tell us that because of the events last time in the Caribbean, you know, our sector has been doing better.
Boomed,
only because, you know, the availability and like so. This may be an anomaly, maybe an opportunity to introduce people to the market and have them return. But just generally speaking, year on year, you feel that it's grown, there are larger numbers, just generally speaking, both from those coming in to those who are here and participating?
Well, to go back to the technology-wise, because you're able to reach a bigger market now, it's a whole lot easier than having flyers posted at, let's just say, a rent-a-car company someplace in another state or city in the U.S. That's only going to get whoever is at that location. Yeah, they may pick it up, or they may be in a rush to just get their car and go their merry way, versus social media. Your brand, you can get it out there. It can reach people in Germany, England, the US, Canada, Central, South America. You form links, bonds with different people who in turn will be like, I love what you guys did there. Would you please come here? So now all of a sudden, Caymanians are going to somewhere else, whether it may be Dominican Republic, Honduras, Toronto, Trinidad, Jamaica. Caymanians on a regular basis now are doing 3-4 carnivals a carnival season. And they're forming bonds and having friends in these other countries, and those friends in turn are coming here. And they're sitting down saying, who should I jump with? They're going to want to know if they should jump with Fresh. They're going to want to know if they should jump with Tribal, Revel Unit, even Party Animals. Even though they only do T-shirt, they still have their crowd and they still have the necessary people. And we have new bands still coming on for 2019 because of it.
Now, you guys, if you wish or can, just enlighten me, please do so, right? Because I don't profess to know anything about everything or everything about anything. All right. Looking at it, trying to prepare, I know Bahamas been doing a lot of great things, recently a lot of different stuff. And they're moving forward with trying to say, well, my perspective from how they're looking at it, pushing Carnival forward. Now, the Bacchanal and I think the Bahamas Carnival seem to be almost around the same time.
It's Badabinu in Bahamas.
Badabinu, Bahamas. Okay,
yes.
Okay. Sorry, it was a B one I know. Yes. But yeah, their thing and our thing will be close together.
The same weekend now.
Same weekend, okay. Is that a potential, knowing that I know guys here, I mean, who will go to, like you said, Nick, you know, who have left Cayman have gone to different places, not just in the region. I mean, I'm talking about going across the pond to different events because, hey, it's Carnival, you know, this is where they can take their vacation. They're not going to, you know, some amusement park, or they're not going shopping. They're going to party in a different way.
Right.
How would that play out from the participation, the economics, the support, if Bahamas and us is happening at the same time?
Well, Bahamas is a big threat for the Carnival here. You know, their government has put, you know, millions of dollars to back this product because they see the potential in this for the country. You know, so it's not just from, you know, just doing a Carnival parade and whatnot. It's more of what they're investing into the education side and everything into it. So for them, they see the value of the product itself, and that is why, you know. But for us, you know, it's more of the personal entities like us, the Fresh, the Tribals, the Rebels, the Party Animals, you know, everyone in the game who basically funds their own thing, you know, and it comes out of our own pocket. You know, we try to get sponsorship, we try to get endorsements to try to, you know, invest into our own brand, you know. So when we do that, is us trying to do our best to get the type of results we really need, you know, the type of response we really need. That's why I'm blessed with my brother. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to get the type of, as we say, links in the game to get the people to follow these people and see these guys post on social media, which is the great thing. When these guys post in there in Cayman that weekend, it does just as much damage control as what Bahamas would do for us as well. But good damage control, not bad, good things, so we bring in the biggest, the DJs, we bring in some of the biggest artists as well too, that, and it's, when you do that, it kind of helps us a little bit, but it's all on us, and we try our best to accommodate the experience too for here, because everybody's going to Bahamas because they're booking ahead. They have the financial resources to book artists ahead and do this in 6 months, 9 months out. This time us, sometimes we're looking a month out and weeks out. So we're kind of limited to who we can get. So that hurts a bit too. So for us now, when we try to do our work and our groundwork, for Tribal and Fresh, we booking from early. Sometimes we have people book from now. People already booked from last year. We try to bring in this just to not let Bahamas get that upper hand in lines of the entertainment aspect of getting our own people to leave Cayman to go to Bahamas, or anyone to go to Bahamas to check it out. We want people to come here too.
All right. So just so I understand, so each band, each one sort of is on you financially. You go and you do your thing.
Each band is definitely a private entity.
Yeah. So you kind of pay the plate, and you're doing this thing, and it's on you financially, organizing all the thing.
Yes.
If it goes this way, you put it together to make it happen.
Yes.
All right. Yep. All right. When we come back, a couple of minutes, share with us, guide me in the direction, and let's work it out.
All right.
Natara, you keep us straight, okay? Stay tuned for Talk Today.
When it comes to designing a kitchen or a bath, functionality and style should be at the center of your design. Declutter, improve lighting, change cabinets, increase storage, and show your style with the help from experts at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 20% on the finest cabinets and fixtures this July for Kitchen and Bath Month at Brand Source. The design team can help create the perfect personal spa retreat and help design your functional kitchen, whether designing from scratch or renovating your home. Stop by Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, to save 20% on kitchen and bath cabinets and fixtures.
Did you know that you can download free hurricane preparedness brochures from the Water Authority's website? Visit us online at www.waterauthority.ky to learn more about how you can prevent damage and minimize danger in the event of a storm. Prepared, be aware, be safe. This hurricane preparedness tip is brought to you by Water Authority Cayman, suppliers of the world's most popular drink.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
Place household garbage in large bags prior to its placement in a garbage container to avoid spillage during collection. A suitable garbage container must be made of sturdy materials that will allow it to withstand weathering. A tightly fitted cover is also necessary to keep out water and stray animals. Do your part. Keep your surroundings clean. Store household garbage in a suitable garbage container. For more tips on proper waste packaging, please visit DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. In a few more minutes, maybe even not just laugh, but maybe actually learn. Hey, who knows? In the studio, good company entirely. Nick Washington, and Jim up here. I was joking earlier with somebody. He said, "Shh, who that is coming in your studio? Boy, he not bring a steel pan."
We have it in the car, we have it there,
You must have been listening to the conversation. They said, he got in the car.
Energy.
Yeah, but it's like good food. You enjoy it more when you're in the company of people. It doesn't matter what it is, right? It's a sandwich otherwise. You guys have an energy, a positive energy, a sincerity.
Thank
you.
I
just hope
Thank
that
you so much.
people will borrow that and move forward with what it is. For those of us who can work together, great.
Yeah, man.
I know there's only a few minutes left. I thank you each, for taking some time out of your day and But as we talk about this, as we're looking forward to what transpired, what may be coming next year and down the road, what are we missing? What is it that we need to be embracing? How do we make it work from your perspective?
Honestly, right now, Carnival is unity. Carnival is togetherness. Carnival is love and family. So that needs to be established first. We need to find some ways where we can all be on the same page. There's something there that everybody will agree to. And I know suggestions has been made, on all sides of the Carnival committees to, on the suggestion that we made as Simba Mass Band Association. So everybody just have to find their common ground and just compromise on the ideas. So, but at the end of the day, the focus is unity, and you can't use such a great product that was created, from in history based off of celebration and life and whatnot, and use it to pre-segregation too. So for me, there have to be some compromise. We all have the same passion. Both sides, everyone have the same passion. Carnival, love, this. We all have it. We want to see change. We want to see something new. We want to see something fresh. So we need to remember it's not just about the me and the Knicks and the you and it's not just about. It's for the people here. It's for the people that came on. It's for the tradition. It's for the culture. It's for the community. So if it's not in the best interest of them, who's going to be in the best interest for?
Exactly.
And that's why we took the opportunity to be the leaders in what we're doing now, to take the role, to become the leader, to trend set, to change, and
to give it.
Yeah, we got to give up that energy too.
To give a voice at the end of the day.
Could I ask then, from as I listen to you,
yes,
looking at history and political movements and labor movements, for instance, so that kind of stuff, we see whether it's the worker, whether it's the voter, saying, well, we don't like what is happening in this, our sector is affecting us. We're the ones in the day that either cashing checks or not cashing checks, being affected by the laws, the policies, the lack of legislation, enforcement, and so we need to organize and move forward.
Right.
And it's instead of a top down, it's a bottom up sort of thing. Is that what I'm hearing in that as the players in the game who are being affected by most, if you can't lead, follow, get out of the way. So we're going to move up then. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, we have an association now of, 10 plus 14 bands. And as Nick said, we have new bands keep growing. So we really don't know the final number until 2019 comes, right? But now, since we created that association, there's no more left to any committee to decide what we do. We have a voice now, and we have direction, we have plans that we're the ones on the ground. We're the ones that on Carnival Day sweating this. We're the ones that are investing into this. We're the ones that are living this and going through the motions of all the, the regulations, to getting things passed, to doing this, to do that, to make sure that this thing comes to life, to showcase celebration. And I can show you an example. Look at Carnival Day. That's probably the only day that you'll see anyone who probably has a grudge against each other, or any enemy that they might be enemies, or anyone that don't like each other, don't talk to each other, come to that day. If you see in the road, they give you a hug. They give you want soda, you want a water. You see that day where everybody come together and talking in celebration. So why does that not feel good? All right,
I want to ask you your preference. And it's not my place. This is not the time. This year we had 2 events, a month apart or thereabouts, right? Whether you wish to answer or not, did you do both? Or do you know people who did both?
I went to both.
All right. I want to ask you which one you prefer. Nothing. That's not an issue. You can
I'll
answer
let you know if you want.
No, you can answer if you want. The only reason why is that I'm just thinking that there are people who they'll go fishing this weekend, this tournament, go fishing next weekend, next tournament.
Right.
Both carnivals have their pluses.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But, and I can say this confidently, the Mass Band Association, our group, we are united. And we're not just united here in Grand Cayman, we're united with the BRAC. I went to both, of course, because I participate in Badabanu, and I also went to take in K-Mass, and I prefer Badabanu. The overall vibe, the decoration, for lack of a better word, just the colorfulness, everything just felt right. Badabanu just felt like home. And that's Tribal's outlook on it.
Yeah. It's as you shared.
Now, this is not to beat up on anybody, like I said, because K-Mass has a great idea, especially when it comes to how they end theirs. I enjoyed their after party on the beach. It was nice. It really was. But there are other reasons why we are opposed. And as tribal, I can't speak for Fresh or anybody. I'll let Jimmy do that. And if any other band leaders want to speak on behalf of their own band, but this is tribal I'm speaking on behalf of. We have issues when it comes to other things that are done.
So, with the fact that I think KMAS is the same weekend as the Bacchanal.
Yep.
Yes.
So that's the main.
It's the main thing.
Main objection.
And we have expressed it and said it outright. Cayman Brac has always had our support, and to put that on the same day as it increases every single year. I mean, about 5 years now, I think that Bacchanal has done.
Yeah,
and
they've been blowing their numbers.
They've been blowing their numbers out of the water.
Regardless of the
if
resources.
you don't book as you leave, you will not. Get,
you will have a place to stay.
You will have a place to stay for the following.
And honestly,
year.
just to follow up on that too, for me, I couldn't do KMAS. I did Badabino, but I'm a part of the Bacchanal committee as well. So I have my my responsibilities. What I make sure BRAC is good. We're gonna make sure BRAC is always good. And for me, like, I'm just saying a simple example. When it comes to long holiday weekend, sometimes in Cayman, there's not a lot of people who are a fan of leaving, or who would be a fan. You normally see a lot of people leaving on holiday weekend to come back and shop. But it's something about the BRAC weekend that they saw that a lot of us didn't see. Yep. And it's basically when you go over there, not only that the restaurants are full, the car rentals are gone, the hotels are gone, the private houses are gone.
But also this Discovery Weekend, right?
Yeah, it is.
Cayman Brac was the first out of the three islands to be discovered.
Yep, and
that's their weekend.
And you're not finding much people and much things in Cayman now, in Grand Cayman, all of the sister islands, where you're finding locals investing back into their local businesses like that. You're seeing a lot of local businesses kind of fading out. When you do that for the BRAC, that is doing something tremendously for them. And why does that? Why does that not make you think a little bit? So for me, I like doing that. I like making sure the BRAC is full, doing my part as the part of the committee. And to have there's 10 plus of us on this committee. It's about 15, 16 of us, and all of us feel good doing what we're doing. And like I said, it's nice because we encourage the flights, we encourage Cayman Airways, all of them are involved. It's not to say that they're losing out on travels. Everything is helping us. So for me, I'm not able to experience the KMAS. So it's interesting to hear when Nick explained that to himself. But as for the BRAC, it's a big thing that's going on over there. And like you said, we're getting a chance to invest back into our local businesses or local economy.
It's our sister island.
It's not like we're going away from long holiday weekends and we're spending money overseas where the money's not staying in the country.
Trust me, Cayman Airways is loving it.
Yeah, so think about it like that for a bit. It's more to it. And like I said, it can be that weekend they got that first. They did it first. So as from like Nick was getting at, to do it anything on a weekend like that, you could choose any weekend and to me, I know from my standpoint, from our family base on our social media, whatever we say going on in Cayman and from the tribals as well, if you say this is going on 9 months out or 10 months out or 12 months out,
they're going to support each other.
People are going to come to that date and they're going to support that.
Yeah, they're preparing.
So now we're in the point where people are going to listen to us on an international scale. Imagine all of us come together. And all of us talking about the same thing. Imagine that power. Imagine that type of energy that we can create. So that's the bigger thing that we need to get back to, and looking back as being one, and doing this thing together and talking about the same thing together and promoting the same thing.
Everybody benefits from it being one.
Yeah.
One. Because I promise you that if the world heard that it's one again, how much more tickets you think will be bought on them flights?
I think Cayman was out of bringing a new plane.
Yeah, probably.
But it all comes back to people deciding, whether they should come to Badabanu or if they should come to KMAS, especially if they don't live here. So for us, as local people, we're torn between home and our sister island. Or should I stay back or should I go to Cayman Brac this year? And then for somebody who's coming from probably Toronto, which a lot of tribal people come from and a lot of fresh people come from, they're like, oh, but we hear you guys have 2 carnivals. Should I go to Badabanu or should I go to KMAS? And it's like, you don't go to Jamaica or you don't go to Trinidad and try to decide, which carnival you should go to. But it's
you just your costume. That's one less thing you'd have to decide.
But like they said, imagine the power and the energy we could have for the Cayman Islands.
And you see what she's saying there right now too. And just to top that off, even like I'm sure Tribal is on the same page. We're all on the same page when it comes to doing this carnival product. For us, it's not about carnival coming out this date and we trying to sell you a costume or a T-shirt. right? It's about the experience that we're trying to sell you that you can't experience. And one thing unique about Cayman and what we get from all our comments and things before we leave is the fact that the atmosphere that we present with our carnival product is what changes the experience for people to say, "Oh, Cayman is one of them. I'm putting on the top."
People are always that's a carnival I'm going to.
We're getting that now. So it's the experience that we're selling you. When you come in and you register with us, it's the week of events that we promote, and it's full of culture of Cayman, not just the culture of other music. It's fused. It's a bunch of fusion, but we're using Cayman products to fuse with this. And on the road, you're there experiencing the artists that you might not be able to see or hear live. You're experiencing the DJs that you might not be able to see that you would love to learn, and encourage other DJs to want to come and listen to these guys and learn, and these DJs from overseas to come to Cayman to see what Cayman is about, to say, let's bring this guy from Cayman. So encourage networking in a big way, from schools to education, encourage trade, designing. Kids want to design
different
costumes
locations all over the island,
or do fashion. That's
everything
a big trade,
from the Friday happy hour spot straight through to the Saturday, straight through to the Sunday fun day, the boat cruises, the rum point, every single thing.
Music.
Well, it sounds good, and continue a dialogue, man, and maybe, as you say, maybe the people at top might be able to join us at some point and have more of the bands and see where we go for it, man. Hey, thanks very much for giving us some time, giving us a perspective. Hopefully we behave somewhat. I appreciate you being the chaperone.
It's okay.
All right, you guys enjoy your week. Especially have a very excellent Monday. All right?
Yeah, man. Have a good
so much again.
Thank you for having us on.
My pleasure. Let's pause and take a break. Hit the news. When we come back, more Talk Today.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Headline. Radio Cayman's newsroom. Headline. These are the biggest stories right now.
Police are seeing a lot of beach thefts. Over the past 2 weeks, officers have responded to a number of reports of thefts from beaches where persons have gone into the water and left belongings on the shore, which are then stolen. Most of these thefts have occurred in the 7 Mile Beach area, including Public Beach, Governor's Beach, and Cemetery Beach. The RCIPS is strongly advising the public not to leave valuables unattended while on the beach. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, a 10-year-old girl and an 18-year-old woman were fatally injured after a gunman opened fire on a busy avenue in Canada's largest city. Police Chief Mark Saunders told reporters 13 other people ranging in age between 10 and 59 were injured in the attack in the Greektown district of Toronto. The 29-year-old suspect had an exchange of gunfire with police officers before being found dead nearby. The motive of the shooting is unknown. Police have not identified the suspect, who was from Toronto, and it is unclear if he was killed by police gunfire or took his own life. Authorities in China have ordered an investigation into a vaccination scandal as panic grows over product safety. Last week's vaccine maker, Changsheng Biotechnology Corporation, was found to have falsified production data for its rabies vaccine. The firm has been ordered to halt production and recall rabies vaccines. There has been no evidence of harm from the vaccine, but the scandal has sparked a huge outcry in China. And a private Catholic-run school in Paris says its pupils will have to carry Bluetooth tracking devices to make sure that they turn up for classes. More than 3,500 people have signed a petition against the plan. The tracking is due to start in September. A pupil called Louise tweeted a plea to sign the protest. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
King Sports Center's Art of Fun Summer Camp is back from July 3rd to August 3rd. Now in its 14th year, the Art of Fun Camp is ideal for kids aged 5 through 10 with activities from football, basketball, dodgeball, squash, rock climbing, arts and craft, dance, singing, and more. Your child can stay cool while having fun in a safe and secure environment. For more info, email kings.brebanks@gmail.com. That's kings.brebanks@gmail.com. Or call 946-KING. Like King's Sports Center on Facebook, and you can also find them on Instagram or call 946-5464. King's Sports Center, providing you with all your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
We are Radio Cayman, and this is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time. Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I'm gonna walk them golden stairs, 'cause I know my Jesus answers all my prayers.
Praise time.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Praise time.
There's nothing to go back to. Give me Jesus in the morning. For the God of the mountain is still God in the valley.
Shout with joy to God, all the earth sing glory to His name. Praise time. Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here. And this Monday edition of Talk Today is going to be some open line now going forward. Hey, do you want to share your thoughts with us? Is there a comment, a question, a query? Maybe there's something you need clarified. Well, it's open line 949-8037 or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. I will also have our WhatsApp up and available 925-32621, and of course email. Yeah, it still works good. Email talktoday@candw.ky. And it's going to be open line for the rest of it, so call and share your thoughts with us. Had a invitation to speak with, or to listen to some people share a particular comment, specifically, solely relating to the idea that when it comes to our environment, that there are a number of us who very, very diligently, very deliberately are trying our very best to, as one of the younger folks in the discussion said, save the planet, one household at a time, she shared. Her parents were there and they were sharing that, not because of anything in school necessarily, but just this incredible desire that she has when, she sees plants dying or, garbage around the place. Said the other day that the family was out for a walk and they had to stop to go into one of the supermarkets, and the little girl shared a comment that from the car to the supermarket, she had counted so many garbage bins, but yet there was so much trash in the parking lot along the sort of the sidewalk into the buildings and the like, and had asked why. Now, the mother says she wasn't really able to give the child a particular answer at that point, but got her thinking. She went back and a couple of days later, like we all do, many of us seem to stop to the supermarket almost every day or certainly a few times through the week. And she parked pretty much, deliberately in the same sort of area. And as she walked to the front door to enter the supermarket, she counted, and sure enough, the number of bins, the garbage receptacles that her daughter had counted were in fact the same number that she counted. And again, from what looked like little bits and pieces of paper to candy wrapper to cans to plastic to all sorts of things, just littered. Some, almost so near the garbage bin that if it was allowed to pile up, it would probably hide the bin. Some, just anywhere and everywhere. And she was asking one of the workers at the supermarket, the mother was, and said, the worker told her, we go out, we now and again sweep it up. We have a maintenance company that comes in and cleans it up, but for whatever reason, as fast as we pick up the garbage in the parking lot, the faster it just returns. So the question is, why? What can we do about it? Well, let's go to our phones. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Sterling Green, good afternoon to you, sir.
And to you, sir. Pleasant good afternoon.
Listening to the young people a while ago, very interesting, but when we, and very good of them, and it's lots of fun for the people to have. Young people coming here, and it's a good attraction for tourism. And what we've got to realize that those concepts are something new. So when you say the exhibiting culture of Cayman and so forth, it's the culture of the new Cayman. It's essential that we understand that the young Caymanians nowadays, and I say that, I mean people say 50 and under, or 40 years old or so, let's say to 40 and on, it's a very different Cayman that they know as adults. It's very different. So we have to think of two Cayman, the ones that people my age or even a little younger than me know, and the one that these younger folks know now. It's essential that we understand the difference and why sometimes it's not easy for those my generation and even maybe people 20 years old to understand what happened, what has happened and where it happened, and how we sort of coexist now. And the older Cayman, the Caymanians, we talk about it in the privacy of our friends or the watering hole or something where we know Caymanians gather. And we can reminisce sort of the Cayman that was and never shall be again. So it's essential. I don't know how to really explain what I'm saying any clearer, any better than that. But it is essential that we realize that sometimes the Cayman that we try to portray to tourists and so forth, because that falls into my line of work.
Yes, sir.
Try to present to people that aspect of Cayman, but it's not real anymore. It is real in our minds, our memories, and it is real in a way that you can see some of the things still, buildings and so forth, and when you try to study up our history of government, politics, everything, you see how it came about. But what I wanted to say was this: there's a lot of talk nowadays of independence and all that, and sadly most people who are talking about that, or a lot of people saying that, they don't even understand fully, even myself, what we are now as a crown colony, because it is something kind of shrouded in you know what Mr. Churchill once said about the French, an enigma shrouded in mystery during the Second World War. It's sort of like that. I don't know if you have the time for me to go on for a few more minutes.
Yes, sir. Please do. Yes, sir.
Yes. And it is essential that we understand what we are, what obtains at present as a crown colony, because that is what we are. Our land is called crown land, so we've got to be a crown colony. And other things make us that. Her Majesty, everything we do or say is in Her Majesty's name and reasoning. We say Her Majesty's Governor, Her Majesty's Prison, Her Majesty's Police Service, or so forth, and Her Majesty's judges, justice system, so forth. And of course, as I was saying to my friend Mr. O.C. this morning, we have a unicameral system now. I think from 2009 when we created the new constitution, it no longer was a bicameral system with the three official members. I think they had a vote in Parliament, didn't they?
Not sure if all we know.
They did have a vote, but they were appointed. We know that. And that was so for quite a while. And then before it was the justices and the vestrymen, and that was the bicameral system. But we changed that now to just strictly unicameral, with the governor still having the final say, the British governor. But we have got to realize, like we often quote about Jamaica and saying, well, Jamaica became independent. But most of the people who are talking about those things do not understand what led up to the independence in this movement in Jamaica. And I do not think, many people might not know this, there was no referendum held to say that Jamaica should become independent or remain a British Crown colony. A referendum was held that they should move out of their participation in the Federation. The Federation was formed and encouraged. It was at the encouragement of the British government for the colonies to form a federation of colonies. And officially it was founded in 1958. I think it was in possibly in January or February. And the capital, the federal capital for the country was Port of Spain, Trinidad. It's one thing we need to understand from the very beginning. It was opposed and not supported by Jamaicans. One of the main reasons was that Jamaica had more than half the population of Jamaica, was more than half the rest of all the federated colonies. And Jamaica had much less than half the representation in the federal government, if you want to put it that way. In the federal parliament, I think they used to call it a parliament. And that was one of the main reasons. And Jamaica's constitution at the time gave them much more autonomy than the federal constitution that was proposed. So they did hold a referendum. I think it was in September, October of 1961. And they voted to come out of it, that Jamaica should come out of it. They built two boats, and I remember them very well, two fine, maybe 5,000 tonners, dark blue, and not royal, on lighter blue. Beautiful little ships, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 tons. The Federal Maple and the Federal Palm. I think one of them was captained by Captain Tibbets, Captain Tibbets, who had settled in Trinidad with their families, and several Caymanian captains are gone there, the West India Line and the Old Swanee Line and so forth. And but I remember they were operating way after Jamaica became independent and all that. Back and forth, they could carry cargo and they could carry passengers. And the people voted against the Federation, so they came out of the Federation. And Mr. Manley, he was then the Premier, Norman Washington Manley, the famous lawyer, then said his government would proceed with preparations to become independent. And they wrote a new constitution in February of 1962, and that constitution was for an independent country, no longer like constitution we'd have. And then they had an election because you have to hold new elections. The government that existed at the time was no longer really relevant in an independent country. And then in August, they voted. They had elections in April. And then Sir Alexander Bustamante, don't think he was Sir then. He won the election, his party, and therefore he became the new Prime Minister. And then on August the 6th, they decided that was the date for independence and became independent. And the person who opened the new parliament was Her Majesty's sister, Her Royal Highness Princess Margaret. She opened the new parliament for the first sitting of the parliament. And all. So there was still that connection because they became a nation, immediately a nation of the United Nations, which is important. And they have, in many instances, they have the same voting power in the United Nations as the great United States. But it was from November of 1957. They had an executive council there in Jamaica that was included the governor and several members of the premier's cabinet. And then they went from executive council to a council of ministers, ministerial council, and the chief minister presided over ministers that he appointed, or the premier. So essentially they took away all the power from the British governor there. From then on, in 1957, the British governor there was merely a ceremonial thing, just a ceremonial thing. So that already removed, the first step was to remove that power. And then in 5 years, of course, they went independent. But a lot of people don't, of course, there are much more intricate details in things, but that is essentially what happened. So, you know, for if you to grasp that then and realize they had the huge bauxite industry, sugarcane, bananas, refrigerated ships from the early 1900s. They had a lot of exports, and they could depend on that as something to support them because they didn't have the financial world thing that we have here and all that now. And that is why it steps towards it, and also the realization that it's a completely different form of government. It's not just a matter of getting up and say, well, today we're under the Queen's rule, tomorrow we'll be up ruling ourselves on it. It doesn't go like that. It takes a few years of preparation to show your people what would become. Of course, we don't need to have embassies like Jamaica has a lot all over the world because they export to those countries, and that's one main reasons why you have embassies. I know a little bit about that, trust me.
Yes, sir.
It's where you export to and all that. But we're in a different situation. We don't manufacture really very much. Our main dependency is on the financial world, which is a world that most of us really don't understand. I'm being very, very honest. And the tourism world, which you all know a little bit about. And so we have to come to the realization that those are the two very main pillars of our economy. I don't see any steps being made to move forward to create any other real third industrial, say even assembling things like Ireland does. Women there do a lot of assembling of electronic parts that you could do, promoting the straw work and so forth, much more.
Sir.
I don't know, you know. And but I just want to show to people, maybe people thinking I'm just talking a lot of rubbish and rambling on, but it's a serious thing we have to think about, and it would have to be well thought out and well planned because it's a different form of government. Of course, you'd have to write a new constitution, and you'd have to have immediate elections before you do that, and a new form of government. So there's time, there's steps to be taken, and you have to not put yourself and say, well, see what happened to them, they went independent. You're in a different situation. We're in a completely different situation as they were. We are people that are vastly outnumbered, indigenous Caymanians. All that we have to keep bear in mind. That's why I started out by talking about our culture, the new Caymanians and the older ones, and the new thought process and so forth. Anyway, I won't ramble on anymore, take up more of your time. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
And thank you too, sir, for sharing. Certainly always information worth hearing. Thank you. Let's pause though, take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue discussions and invite you to call and share your thoughts. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Attention construction industry. Get affordable builders public liability and workmen's compensation insurance today with FIS Insurance Brokers, offering combined annual premiums starting as low as $700. Policies are required for registration with the Cayman Islands Builders Board. Contact FIS Insurance Brokers today for full details and to sign up for your policies ahead of the Builders Board deadline on July 31st. Call FIS Insurance Brokers on 623-5616.
Missing the deadline will require applicants to sit mandatory board examinations.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Did you hear that Vant Motors has your sale going on now? And you get your choice on the money you'll save on your new car or truck?
My sale? My choice? Really?
Yeah, and they have lots of cars on sale, some up to $7,000 off.
Sounds pretty good.
It gets even better. You can choose to take the full discount, or you can get some or all of it as cash back.
Extra cash back would be great.
Exactly. And you can even use the savings to extend your warranty or service plan so you'll drive worry-free for years longer.
Another good idea.
If you want to upgrade with something like a new roof rack or backup camera, you can choose that too.
Wow, I get to choose?
Yeah, that's why it's your sale, your choice. Going on now at Vant Motors on Walkers Road, while stocks last.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
During the greatest events of your life, whether or not you have the right health insurance coverage should be the last thing on your mind. That's why at Fidelity Health, we are committed to helping you get matched with the right plan to suit you and your family. We offer a range of plans to suit your budget, plus access to a network of quality care throughout the Caribbean and the USA. You can relax and enjoy life's greatest moments when you are covered with Fidelity Health. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote.
Did you know that garbage containers must be accessible to DEH collection crews at all times? They must not be placed in a manner that will impede the flow of traffic. Garbage bins must instead be stored in enclosures that are either placed at the front of the property or at the side that is accessible to collectors from the roadway. To prevent injury to collection crews, kindly ensure that your enclosure has an access gate. For more tips on proper waste handling, please visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today. Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. It is open line 949-8837 or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Of course, you can send us your thoughts on our WhatsApp 925-3261. Hey, it's a Monday. What are you going to make of it? And it's summer, and many of you already started your summer vacation. Others of you are looking forward to when you travel or take time off to do things in your yard, around your houses, and the like. Well, what is worth, as you vacation, think about traveling over to Little Cayman and Cayman back as well and spend a couple of days. So over the years we've fond of talking about staycations. Well, however you term it, take time to unwind, relax, and rejuvenate yourselves. And what better way than maybe on the back of Little Cayman? 949-8837 or 1-800-534-8255. Or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. And I was sharing, earlier, the lady was saying that from the group, quite unsure why is it that even in our supermarkets, the parking lots, in our shopping centers and the like, I should say, where there are many, garbage cans about the place, where there are workers or contracted companies to come and clean, why is it that we as a people seem unable to take our garbage once we've, used whatever it is that we had in the packaging and then place it in the garbage? Now, some will share, well, let's make sure that we recycle what can be recycled and perhaps increase and enhance the recycling. But even if we didn't subscribe to that, I would commend those who do make an effort at trying to recycle as much as they can. Why can't we just get it in the garbage? May seem like something you hear often, but I am grateful for the many of you who have shared that increasingly they're noticing along the roads, in the parking lots, whether it's an office or a retail space, that there's garbage, cans and candy wrappers and bits and pieces of paper to styrofoam to glass to all sorts of things that are just thrown along the roadsides and in the car parks. Well, if it's you that do it, maybe it's you that can stop. 949-8837 or 1-800-534-8255. The other thing that we were chatting with some individuals just prior, fella says, he has family who, for the most part, comes out every time, as the year rolls around, that month hits the calendar, They always come and they stay, for the most part, the same amount of time every year. And the whole family looks forward to that celebration. But increasingly, you noticed the comment last year, but this year, those family members who, not originally from Cayman, only have connections because they have families, that live here. I've been sharing that it seems that in the media, there's more and more reports of crime. Yeah. And it doesn't matter whether it's people stealing or whether it's people being attacked or otherwise. The fact is that, just generally speaking, crime is on the increase. So the fellow shared, as he was speaking with the family, wanted to get an idea of, well, how does that affect them? And he said this time, he made a point to ask. For the first time, he said some of the older ones were saying, well, they're not so sure. Cayman was this place that they came that they felt really, really safe. That they felt safe that if they were at the beach alone, something was to happen to them, people would genuinely come and, honestly try to assist. Now they have to be wondering, well, would they be coming to try to con us, to rob us? If we're going into the swim, as he puts it, will they come and rifle through our things? When, they were be out and about and they wanted to ask for directions or just stop to talk, they're now starting to feel, well, should I be talking to these people? Are they going to rob me? And it affects their mindset. Now, that may not be something that you feel is important, but what if it's not just one person feeling that way? But what if it's just is? Have we gone to a place where people, those who visit us, as well as those who live, that we no longer feel that sense of safety and security? Now, I share that with you because as the guy was relaying, his story from his family who visits every year, he says they honestly enjoy the visit, not just the things that they bring, but the stories that they share and the time to kind of relax. You get some help with certain things, they get a time to have an excuse to do certain things and really, really enjoy it. And it's sort of like a mini vacation, even though he needs to get up and go to work, still is an opportunity to relax. Yes, they go out a little more often to eat. Yes, the food at home is a little more festive. Everybody seems well. Now, he says he doesn't know what it's like when other people have family and friends visiting, but in his house, it really is, a fun time. But he was concerned that, the older family members who visit every year are now expressing concern that they don't feel as safe in the country. They don't feel as safe on the roads when they take the car out to drive, when they go to the beach. Not just the lack of courtesy, but the way people drive on the roads, to the way people, approach them at the beaches and the like. Now, is it that we are unwilling to look at the elephant in the room because we're afraid to offend someone? Well, you give us your thoughts. 949-8037 or toll free with the compliments of Flo, 1-800-534-8255. Now, if I had been paying attention to when I sent my email and hit send, I would have had with our studio today our good friends from the RCIPS. As you know, today they launched an initiative and we're going to have them on. As I said to Miss Jody, typing an email and putting you on the calendar does you no good unless I tell you about it. So tomorrow she'll be with us, God's willing. It just happens, man. You get busy and you forget. Oops, a button is there for a reason. Hit send. I didn't do it, but that's life. So when we were, speaking of some of the things that are happening during the summer, the idea that during the summers we see an increase in crime. Is it, as some have shared, that maybe it's just young adolescents being a bit, idle and entertaining themselves? Is it, as some have shared, well, we've got more and more people visiting the shores for the summer. They see the lax approach when it comes to our safety and security. So we leave things unattended on the beaches. We leave our homes and cars unlocked. Maybe they're a little bit more skillful at maneuvering locked spaces, and they take that opportunity and help themselves to what isn't theirs. If that's the case, what are we doing about it? And what are we ensuring that for the activities that we have organized for those here, that it's not just safe and wholesome, but it's constructive and beneficial. Many of you have recognized over the years that it's increasingly expensive when it comes to doing things as a family, and more so when the summers go around, the children are no longer in school, as it were. But how many families can afford to put their children in different camps for the majority of the summer? We understand that the Department of Sports, they have their camps and they're relatively free for the most part. But sometimes, for a family to find an extra $5 or $10 a day, that becomes hard. I want to share that with you. As a fellow was saying that, he's been working with a number of families recently who have been particularly challenged because of increased expenses. One or two have had, difficulties with their employment. Some have been redundant. Others have just, in one instance, admittedly, because of the fault of the employee, was fired. He used the word, was asked to leave, but was fired. And that made it difficult for the household. But he said even prior to that, there is a certain amount of money coming into the household. There are these expenses. For some of us, we might say, well, you're only making so much, so why do you have your air conditioning on all the time? Turn it off. Well, have you tried that? He said, it is uncomfortable. But even when you do attempt to reduce your utilities, do you really make any significant reduction in that cost? He shared that there is a family he's been trying to work with in terms of their budget and the like. And even though, yes, they've put themselves in a position where they're spending a lot more than they're making, they have a number of different loans, he's found a number of things. The challenges with trying to reduce their utilities, even if they employ certain things to conserve water or to reduce their electrical consumption, there's still, only so much you can do with it, and they don't see that corresponding reduction. He's also found that even changing purchasing habits and the like. But equally, when he was talking to their bank, this may not, he said, be representative of the majority of the people, but he found with them, there's the mortgage, there's a car loan or two, there's a personal loan or two, there's a credit card. And at the end of the month, they're paying the minimum charges, they're making their monthly payments, but there's no money left. When, in one instance, when they went to the bank and said, we would like to consolidate some of our debts, even with sufficient equity in their properties, the banks were reluctant. We don't do that. Some that were, the amount of fees and increased payments was almost akin to, instead of making 5 combined payments, they were making just 1, and there's relative difference in the amount because the bank then decided, this becomes a different type of loan, so we're going to charge you a higher rate. And he was asking, is that fair? Is that, allowed? Should it be allowed? Well, the question that he said he asked and he answered, if the banks agree to lend you the money and they are the ones who dictate the terms, well, what can you say about it? 949-8037 or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Likewise, you can WhatsApp 925-3261 and share your thoughts with us. On the WhatsApp, someone shared through a comment in relation to the caller earlier. And the person types, says, I appreciate the caller sharing the timeline and the reasons that Jamaica decided to exit the Federation and how it led to independence. But perhaps other factors to be considered also, such as the post-war Britain unable to support its colonies. Appreciate that individual taking time to send that message through to us. But it also shows that our people are equally cognizant of our history generally and are interested in what Cayman would look like with greater autonomy or independence. Some of you have always said, we should have been independent long ago. Some of you have said, we should have set a date long ago. And then there are those who share, why is Cayman even considering independence? It's not financially feasible. We're not sufficiently politically mature to do so. There are no great benefits. If anything, we'll be at a significant loss. But what was interesting, it was just a question someone asked on Friday. It was unrelated to anything that we had. His question was simply, why are we even talking about independence? All because, the British Parliament has decided that it wants to make some adjustments to our legislation and require us to be a little bit more open. Will that really affect us in any respect? Now, in that case, do we need to even consider independence? Is there another way? And if we don't, what are the consequences? And if we do, what are those as well? 949-8037 or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Dwayne, and how are you today?
Very thankful. And yourself?
Not too bad, I'm thankful, Dwayne, because we still have some freedom here. Not as much as we had before, but I'm grateful because some people, millions in this world, is running for their life and trying to get to other countries for a better life, and so I am still grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne, have you heard from Miss Georgette recently?
No, Mama.
Because I was wondering about her. I hope she's listening, and I hope that she's not sick, because I always enjoy when she calls in.
Oh, she is truly an incredible lady.
Yes, she is. What I wanted to say, I said it on OC show this morning, and make I tell you, I feel like your show and OC show is the best, because it gives us people a time to express what we have on our mind. Not always that we can say everything, but to express our feelings, and that's a good feeling. Like the older people would say, get it off your stomach.
Yes,
or get it off your chest.
Off your chest,
whatever to do, Anyway, I was telling him this morning that I had several visits in the mental ward visiting some people at the Georgetown Hospital. And I was shocked to see that some of the rooms, and in our main hospital as well, some of the rooms do not even have what I would say decent pillows. The pillows, Dwayne, are so thin that you can nearly hold them up, and the thickest part of them is the plastic that's supposed to be covering the pillow. I'm wondering if all these people that are here making good money, if they ever think about, I'm talking about the foreign people that come here and they make a very good living, and they end up having, millions of dollars, or building $1 million homes and stuff like that. Have they ever thought about helping out in any way? Go to the hospital, going different places that, and the school children and stuff that is in really, really need of many things. But a pillow and towels is nothing for those people to buy. That's pocket change. But getting on to the point of the mental unit at the hospital is that while visiting there in the dining room and dining room lodge, and I seen 2 or 3 of the patients there looking at this movie, and one of them, a younger one, because they're as young as 18 and 19, and that's our own Caymanians doing.
Mm-hmm.
It would make you cry because they talk fine and whatnot like that, but they were looking at a movie with nothing but violence. I mean, it was awful. And one of them had their hands over their eyes. So I got up and knocked at the nurse's station, and I was told to come in. And I went in. I says, "Excuse me, but is it necessary to be showing that sort of thing? It is nothing but violence. They shouldn't be watching violence. They should be in here to try to get well." And one of the nurses answered me, this is the way they answered me, "That's a fact of life. It's a fact of life." And seemed like, so what if they're watching it? But never moved out of the seat. They just swing around in their chairs, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, listen, we're paying you. We're not begging you. And these are people, young people, that need help, serious help. And I got so angry. And then there was an elderly lady that was there, and I asked her, I says, "Do you know where the control is for his TV?" And she said, "Oh, yes, ma'am." And she says, "I'm going to change this." And she changed it, and she changed it to a Christian station. But I'm wondering, who oversees this sort of thing? Or what these people should be, what these patients should be watching, and hearing a nurse, supposing to be a nurse, pass that kind of remark, and not even from here, make I tell you, not even from here. I was very angry. Then I thought again, there it is. This island is full of churches. Every turn around, you see one breakout here, there, and everywhere. But you go to the mental ward, and I was there up till yesterday evening. No one comes in and prayer or just a sing along or anything like that. It makes you stop and wonder. I mean, I'm tired of going to church and hearing we're still in the red. That's a concern of mine. We're still in the red. Can we do this and can we do that? And most of the people are on a budget, retired and whatnot. Yet they can't even get together and schedule something that they go to the mental ward, go to the main hospital itself, where there is a few that goes to the hospital. Because yesterday evening there was some in the main hospital. The person was in the medical ward, you know, playing a guitar and sing religious music. I love to hear it. We seem to forget these people are sick. Some people don't even have visitors. And help them to get well again and to let them know there's people out here that care. But Dwayne, we're calling ourselves a Christian country. Really? Really? Have we forgotten about those people? And it's mostly it's the elderly that is in the hospital. And have we forgotten about them? It's gotten to me now that it's a real disgrace. But I know it may be somebody else want to get on. So, but I had something else that I would like to say, but I could leave you there, and maybe I'll save it for tomorrow. And don't forget to tell Mario that he owe you chocolate.
Thank you for reminding him.
Yeah, I hope he's listening.
You have a wonderful afternoon, Mom.
Yes, and I thank you for listening too.
No, thank you for sharing.
And for Susan for being so kind. Thanks very much, and good afternoon
Good
to
afternoon,
you.
Mom. Thank you so much. And with that, Miss Susan reminds me we have a little break, so let's pause, and when we come back, we'll join our callers. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Attention construction industry. Get affordable builders public liability and workmen's compensation insurance today with FIS Insurance Brokers, offering combined annual premiums starting as low as $700. Policies are required for registration with the Cayman Islands Builders Board. Contact FIS Insurance Brokers today for full details and to sign up for your policies ahead of the Builders Board deadline on July 31st. Call FIS Insurance Brokers on 623-5616.
Missing the deadline will require applicants to sit mandatory board examinations.
Optical Outlook is so wicked.
They're brilliant. Tremendous.
So hot. They're awesome. Yo, them cool.
They're sweet.
Just ice, mate.
I love them like cooked food.
Head to Optical Outlook and find many designer brands for men and women. Sun safety and eye health care never look so good. They'll be able to help you find the best fit for your face and budget. Call 746-2020 and book your eye exam today. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook and make sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
When it comes to designing a kitchen or a bath, functionality and style should be at the center of your design. Declutter, improve lighting, change cabinets, increase storage, and show your style with the help from experts at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 20% on the finest cabinets and fixtures this July for Kitchen and Bath Month at Brand Source. The design team can help create the perfect personal spa retreat and help design your functional kitchen, whether designing from scratch or renovating your home. Stop by Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, to save 20% on kitchen and bath cabinets and fixtures.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away.